Hello everyone! For my Geography in My Backyard project, I visited the Medina River Natural Area and Greenway. This natural area is located in southern Bexar County and features the Medina River and a 511-acre natural preserve. While exploring the area, I found a multitude of different geographical processes. Starting off, I will cover the river area of the park. Because of this area's elevation, it is very susceptible to flooding. This is apparent in the surrounding embankment, as well as the various tree or tree fragments in the water. This has created an example of stream meandering, affecting the water's rate of flow. Over time, this can create a floodplain, which I did encounter. Nearby, there was a smaller, swampy body of water that appears to have been created from overland flow. This body of water was isolated and did not run off into the existing river at this time. Since this area is named the South Texas Plains, this occurs regularly. Another observation I made was of the various types of rock and sediment. From the larger weathered rocks to the small pebbles that were carried by the river, all had different characteristics. I discovered these larger rocks right off the main river. They were large and had obvious signs of erosion and appeared slightly orange in color, a sign of oxidation. The type of weathering these rocks featured appeared to be mechanical. There were plants growing in the small crevices of the rock, contributing to the physical weathering, eventually splitting the rock into smaller and smaller pieces. Another factor that was contributing to this type of weathering was human interaction. While I was there were people sitting and standing on these rocks, which would eventually speed up the weathering process. Another interesting feature is the markings along the rock, which appeared to have been created from the flow of the river when water levels were high. As for the smaller pebbles and river rocks, there were small shells scattered amongst them, which would be evident of sediment that travels at different speeds based on the flow of water. Almost all the rocks I observed were smooth and did not feature any sharp or jagged edges, giving the evidence that they were in water for long periods of time. At one point along my walk, I encountered a large, accumulated area of sediment in an area of the river. This seems to have been a sign of deposition due to the speed of flow and depth of the water. This was also created a sign of stream meandering, causing the flow of the river to split off into two separate flows. This was a common occurrence that I encountered in various parts of the river. Because there has not been much rain in this area, water levels were very low, making some areas easily susceptible to deposition. I also encountered what appeared to be a path of a dry ephemeral stream. Like I mentioned earlier, this area is susceptible to flooding, but also because it has been a dry season, smaller streams that branch off from the main river have been dry. The different elevations of the land also helped create these streams by producing runoff that ends up in the main river or to a larger body of water. Because this park had a trail and lots of warning signs of snakes and poison ivy, I was unable to reach certain areas I wished to explore more. Overall, there were plenty more features of different processes that we haven't covered over the semester. This was my first time visiting this area, and I'm interested in returning at different times of the year to see how the environment changes, now that I know what to look for. Thank you.